Happy Monday evening and welcome to another edition of the Emotion Room. Safe to say we're happy once again. We're going to be covering the Spurs match because I've not spoken to Dan about it. I have spoken to Alex about it. We're also going to be covering Mainoo telling Bruno to keep the ball more. I don't know if you guys spotted that. I'll play it for you so you can see it. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know where you guys are at with it, whether he's right, whether he's wrong, or both. We're obviously going to discuss 5 in a row. Beating West Ham, is it possible? We're then going to segue that into the United strand. Where are you guys at with him? How do you feel? Do you feel him doing this has added more pressure to Manchester United getting this 5 in a row? Weirdly enough, right? What was banter has turned into something that could be, what am I trying to say? A negative for Manchester United? Maybe I'm wrong, but something to discuss. Look, we're going to talk about the game yesterday, City and Liverpool. I know your brother's a City fan, Alex, but what a finish to that game. What a result for City. I mean,
Wow.
absolutely huge. And we're just
Massive.
going to finish with, where do you guys think, realistically, Manchester United can finish this season? I want you to put your head on the chopping block and give me an answer to that. But first and foremost, how are you, gentlemen? How are you, Dan, first and foremost, because I haven't spoken to you since.
No, all good, all good. It's just nice to have good weekends where you
Yeah.
can watch your team win and just sit back and watch everybody else play. So, all good, but health wise, all good. So, yeah, ready for
Yeah,
the
that's all
show.
we can ask for. How you doing, Alex? You well?
Yeah, very good, mate. We spoke to me on Saturday. Good vibes, good weekend. Can't wait for the next game. I don't know what's going on, but it's great.
Yeah, the next game's tomorrow. I love it when they come thick and fast. But before we talk about the next game, Dan, talk to me. How are you feeling about the Spurs game?
Yeah, another another great win. Really, at the end of the day, I think I was confident that we was going to win. I did predict it was going to be 2-1 because I thought they might have got a goal. But no, I thought it was about time we were going to win because they've had our number, haven't they? They've had our number for a while, and I think
It
we're a
feels like the
different
whole
team.
league's had our number. Sorry to interrupt. I think
Well,
the whole
that,
league's
that,
had our number,
that
but
is
yeah.
true. That is true. But I think we're a different team to the one that's played them last. I think they're a different team as well. They had a lot of injuries, don't get me wrong. A lot of players missing, a lot of key players missing. But they had Van de Ven that came back, and we'll get on to Romero. So,
Yeah.
but no, it was just nice to see another good game, another good team effort. And I think again some good play here and there. Probably up there again with one of the better games so far under Carrick. I'm still saying that City game's the best so far, but I liked a lot of the stuff I saw in this game. But in regards to even just like tactics and stuff like that, but we can come on to that later on. But
Mm,
yeah, just nice to get another win, really, and
for
just keep
sure.
that sort of top four sort of hopes alive, I suppose, as well.
Mm.
And then again, nice to get that revenge. I know it's not the same as winning a cup as they did against us, but
Yeah, yeah.
still nice to
But I
get
think
one
they
over on
had
them,
beaten
really.
us 4 times last season, and I think I read a
Yeah.
stat we had not beaten them in 8 games. I mean, it was
Mm.
getting beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, it's getting
A team
ridiculous.
that we
Yeah.
used to say it's
Spursy,
only
after all.
Spurs.
Exactly.
Just
Mm.
absolutely. I mean, it was bound to happen. This is kind of where the conversation is leading to. Is this a manager bounce? Was it bound to happen that we need to beat Spurs now after not beating them in 8 games? But I mean, how do you feel, Alex? Now the dust has settled from
Mm.
that game, and I know we spoke straight after it. Is this a bounce, or are we actually playing good football? Like, did we beat Spurs because we're better, or did we beat Spurs because we were
Mm.
due to beat Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the narrative was there, wasn't it, with Spurs because of last season. You touched on the facts. We had the Europa League. But we spoke, didn't we? Is this the best football we've seen for years post Fergie? Is it the best post Fergie? The one touch passing, and we spoke about this in the introduction of Ahmad and Mainoo in the same team. I don't want to get into the Mainoo Amarim, but they haven't played together much. Bruno, Cunha, Ahmad, Mainoo. I sound like that Arabian commentator now, but
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
The more good players you have on the pitch, the better they play, the better they keep the ball. Something we didn't do great under Amarim, Ten Hag, even Ollie to a degree. So, look, I think there's stuff to hang your hat on there. I do think there's a new manager bounce, but that's because he's doing the simple things. I don't think they down tools under Amarim. I don't know what you guys think. I think it was just square pegs, round holes for so long. I don't think it was anything special what Carrick's doing. I think he's done a great job off the ball. Maybe Steve Holland, you might want to come to that, Dave. But honestly, I think it's sustainable. I really do think it's sustainable. We're going to have a loss. We're going to have a game where Maguire's too high. Look, it was nearly Fulham. Let's face it. It was nearly Fulham, right? You get out of jail with a little bit of a last-minute goal. But we're scoring goals, and that can get you out of jail because we can get 2 or 3 a game. So I think it's sustainable, Dave.
Where are you at with it, Dan? Is this a bounce? Is this sustainable, like Alex says? I mean, how do you feel about this football? I titled my reaction video that Alex came on straight after the game, best football since 2013. Maybe because it's been so dire for so long that I feel that way. But how do you feel? Was I overreacting? Was Alex overreacting? Is this the best football since 2018? 2018, 2013. Well, 2018 too. 2013.
Well,
yeah.
Take your pick. Anything after Fergie. But no, I don't think you're overacting. I think I've said it myself plenty of times. I think we're much closer to the type of football I like to see Manchester United playing. And I think you've got that. And again, I keep saying I don't care what rivals say about DNA. We know what our Manchester United DNA is. And I think we're very close to that. I think there's a lot of good attacking play. There's some wing play coming back into things as well. That fast attacks on the break. That's what I've been asking for, and we're getting it. And I just think, in terms of bounce, I think both things can be right. To be fair, I think there is a bounce because you can hear it from certain players, the way they're talking, what they've been saying about Carrick. Bruno's been saying a lot of good things. Casemiro's all over Carrick. You can see that there's. I never thought that the mood was low per se, but I can definitely see a spike in the mood. I know some of that's to do with winning as well, but there's definitely a bounce there. But at the same time, I want to give Carrick and the staff some credit as well. I think they've done some tactical tweaks here and there. I'm not saying anything fantastic and groundbreaking. And I think a lot of it is putting players into their preferred positions and playing them in. I mean, 4-3-3 straight away is the big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of these players could play Amorim's system. But also, I think just playing players in the right positions, obviously, playing them in the right formation. But I think even just like the little tweak he did against Spurs, where before you were playing Mbeumo up front, we know you can interchange with Cunha anyway, but he's purposefully put Mbeumo on the left. He's put Cunha and Bruno down the middle. Then you can find then that you had Van der Ven, you had Romero that were getting drawn out from their position, and they were trying to engage with Cunha and Bruno. Then you could see then Ahmad and then Mbeumo going down the sides. Obviously, Gray, and I think it was a doggy, was it? They were sort of like man-to-man then and getting isolated. So we were getting chances early doors. So that particular tactical plan worked straight away. First minute, Mbeumo was played in over the top.
Yep.
You can see what he's done there straight away. So we can all sort of say Carrick, basics, all that sort of stuff, which is true, but there's still some tactical bits and pieces happening.
That's what I will say about
Mbeumo.
Yeah, that's what I will say about Mbeumo. You can play him into feet, you can play him over the top. He can do both, can't he? And he's not weak either. You know, we haven't seen him much with his back to play, if I'm honest. You know, when playing it into and holding players.
It's not his game, really.
That's not his game.
Not his game.
Everything he's done in Mbeumo, I mean, he's been our best signing this season, hasn't he? I kind of said this after the show, after the match. Sorry, I feel like Amorim's left him with a very fit team, so they're able to carry out a lot of the instructions that he's asking them to do. This is not me taking anything away from Carrick. This is just my overall view. My fear on this being sustainable is that, bit like Klopp leaving and Slot coming in, Slot kind of added his twist on it with a very fit Liverpool team that already had great players there. And Slot added his twist on it and he won the league. Obviously, that's a massive version of what I'm trying to describe now, right? I feel like Carrick's come in, he's added his twist to it. He's simplified things like you've just said. He's put players in the correct positions. But can he maintain the fitness of this team? Can he, or am I giving too much credit to Amorim? My fear is that the fitness starts to drop off kind of where it was underneath all the other managers. Because I felt like no one could get our team fit, by the way. I felt like we were running less than absolutely everyone in the league. And we're no longer there anymore. I feel like we're running more than people now. Now, I've got to give credit to the old regime for that, not the new regime. Right?
Yeah,
fitness doesn't happen over 4 games. But I'm worried that Carrick and his coaching staff don't maintain that fitness and there will be a drop-off. I mean, what do you think of that?
No, I think it's a great point. I mean, Ollie, Ten Hag, they all came in. Ranić came in even for the short time and said they're not fit enough. And you're right, the stats back that up. The stats also back up that Kobbie Mainoo is covering the most distance since Carrick's come in per game. I think he was at 12 kilometers in one game. That's unbelievable for him to not play 90s all season, to come in. I think we touched on it, Dave, where you got Amad Diallo playing right wing back all season. Now you're just playing right wing. Now you've got a little bit more energy. You can press that way. So
this is the point, though, right?
Yeah,
this
in a way,
I'm making.
Look, I disliked Amorim and a lot of what he did. However, he added bows he added strings to a lot of their bows. Amad being one particularly. Even like Dallo looks sharp. And we spoke about Dallo on Saturday. I'm not saying Dallo's a great player, but he's fit. They look fit, like to your point. Casemiro, he's doing a little bit less work now because he's got Kobbie and Bruno. So they're all, in a way, it's like you went through World War III in that system. Now you can enjoy yourself in this one. And that, I think that's very fair to say.
That's it. That is my worry. I mean, I'll ask you now, Dan, if you're worried about that as well. But that is my worry. They were all playing out of position. They were all being asked to do a lot more. And yes, the results weren't great, but they were getting fitter. And I know this isn't about fitness plays a big part, especially in modern day football, I think. Back in the day, it wasn't as huge as it is now. You need to be able to flip and run now, don't you? Like, you need to put the mileage up. And not just mileage, you need to be fast. You need to get about the pitch quick, you know? And I'm just worried that that fitness they attain playing out of position and adding strings to their bow, adding fitness to their bow, that they'll lose. And then we'll get a drop off again. Maybe I'm being, what's the word? Pessimistic? Is that the right word? Maybe negative, whatever. But what do you think, Dan? Do you think that's something to be concerned about? Or am I just,
I do see your point. I think what I'd say though is it won't all be down to Amorim and his coaches. I'm sure there'll still be some specific fitness coaches that are still at the club. Also, they've made a big effort of bringing certain data scientists to come in. Whether they've made an impact or not yet, I don't know. But they'll still be there in regards to player fitness, what sort of routines they should be doing, what they should be eating, all that sort of stuff. So I still think a lot of that's still there. The only thing I'd say is there going to be an impact in regards to, there's been sort of comments coming out that Carrick's training sessions are the shorter but more intense. So again, you've got different sort of disciplines. That's the problem. So you can have it where it's more long distance, longevity type stuff, or you can have it where it's over a shorter period but more intense. So it's all about whether that's going to play a part or not. So it's so are you gearing them up to sort of kill a game off in half an hour, but then they die towards the end, or was it Amorim sort of allowing them to be able to maintain across the full piece? But time will tell. I think we'll still ride off the bounce, to be fair. And the energy from wins, I still think we'll ride off that. And I think if you, I know our possession's not been very high, to be fair, but I think if you can start to tweak that a little bit and put that more in our favour, I think that's going to help us a little bit more. Because if we're not, I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know if we're running back as much as we were under Amorim, though. I don't know if we've felt the need to do that. I think we've been a bit more in control.
Yeah, I think we were in recovery mode all the flipping time, weren't we?
And
that's the left
and I think that's going to help.
Right wing back role. That's the definition of their job, recovery mode. All the time.
And I think a lot of the load was going on the wing backs because that's where a lot of his play would come from through Amorim. So we're not playing that system anymore. So time will tell, obviously, and I do get your points, but I'm not as worried about it yet. I've not seen an issue so far. Like you're saying with Mainoo, it's like he hasn't been playing, but nothing's impacted his fitness. So far anyway. So we'll see, but I'm not so worried about it.
Then Amorim should have just been a fitness coach. I feel fitness in football is just on the coach. The players have to decide to be fit every time. I totally get your point, Michael, for sure. And I've got a lot to say about Amorim and have said, right? So, but the point I'm making is playing them out of position and asking them to do more than they would usually do. Casemiro, Dorgu, all of these guys has made them fitter as naturally. It's a consequence of it. Do you know what I mean? Marv says here, Carrick realizes he's one injury away from a doomed season, so he's going to keep training light. He has to. This is a great point, but I do feel us being very fit and sharp at the moment is what's winning us games. I mean, Spurs are not a great outfit, but we were just a step ahead of them. Always, 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 always. And when you compare that to the Everton game, where we lost being 10 men down, couldn't string passes together, just didn't look fit, looked sluggish. I mean, we don't look like that anymore. Just watching us play football now, you can't. I mean, I want to give all the credit to Carrick, but I mean, they look fitter. They look fitter than they've ever done. I don't know, guys. I don't. What I'm trying to say is, I'm worried that fitness might drop off, and then holes will start to show. But yeah, Dan, you made a good point. Hopefully, it doesn't. Right? Treble win in Madrid were the fittest. Amarin was poor at managing players. Watching the games now, you notice that the team is still pressing high, even late in the game. They don't look spent. This is the point I'm making. This is it. I just want this to last, guys. That's
Do you
all
think
I'm saying.
the next week and a half, Dave, with the weekend off because of FA Cup, so we've got a 2-day turnaround with West Ham, so big pressure on the boys tomorrow. If he goes same team, which you would imagine, then you get a 10-day layoff where most of the Prem teams play. I think is it Everton next. We've got Everton away next after West Ham. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then you've got a big game and you've had 10, 12 days off. That's when you, to your point there, how do you keep them sharp but not injured? That's why they're paid more than us, right?
Yeah, totally. Listen, it's a concern of mine, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not. Maybe it's my training background and what I do for a living that I'm so worried about the fitness. But it's
really quickly. It's hard. It's hard to work out whether it's because we're playing less games than everybody else. If that's helping. You don't know whether that's good or bad. It's hard to work out at the minute.
Because we were awful, even playing less games than everyone else. We were awful before, right? So I've almost not blocked that out of my mind, but it is a big deal.
We've got a 4-game sample size. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
It is hard. It is hard. Right. I'm going to pop something on the screen. It's the first video I'm adding to a stream. So hopefully this works and doesn't go absolutely awful. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, bear with me. Viewers, bear with me. Hopefully this
goes Dave.
Well, yeah?
I reckon you can do this.
Here we go.
Audio as well. This is like MNF, this.
Right, let me try and play that again.
You ripped the red. Bruno. Just keep it. Right. I haven't seen this.
So to give you an idea of what the geezers were going on about, let me put this here so we can. Well, I'll put it like that.
He fucking hates Bruno, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he fucking
it was
hates
Rick
Bruno.
from the United stand, right?
Yeah.
And the caption basically says, "Found this very strange while I was away and watching the derby." Let me see if I can make this. That's probably better. Yeah. Bruno, when we get it up there, let's keep it. That's what he was basically saying, yeah? 20-year-old midfielder basically explains the value of looking after the ball to a 31-year-old skipper.
No.
Shouldn't it be the other way round? I'll come to you first, Alex. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's the first time I've seen it, and I know Rick's...
Which is good, because that means it's your immediate reaction.
Yeah. No, so look, I think... I've certainly never played football at the level these lot have, clearly. But I've played football at a level... In 95-minute game, things are said constantly throughout a game. And at any level, you could isolate one incident. Mainoo might be blowing there. He might be struggling a little bit. He might have just had a duel that he's lost with a City player. Yeah. And he said something. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Also, Mainoo is a different player to Bruno. Bruno's a high risk-taking creative monster. Mainoo is, you said it, Dave, he's your nice little tick-attacker dude.
He's a La Liga.
He's a lie, yeah. But no, they're different. Mainoo's never going to be, I'm going to go for Hollywood balls. One, because they're probably not what he's great at. Bruno is great at them, so he tries them. I just think it's a clip in a game, and Rick's obviously ran with it because he's got a little bit of an agenda against Bruno. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Mainoo values keeping the ball because he's very good at it. Bruno values trying to create with Hollywood passes because he's very good at that. It's a moment in 90. I think it's something nothing to
Yeah. What do you think, Dan? Have you seen that before? Had you seen that?
Only earlier today. I'd not seen it before, but like what Alex is saying there, Ricky doesn't like Bruno. There's nothing you can say to Ricky to change his mind. And I think when you've got an agenda on a player or a coach or a team or whatever it may be, very difficult to dispel that, and you're just never going to do it. So interested for him to bring it up. Don't know what it actually means. I don't really give a shit, if I'm honest, because I just see it as... Mainoo, as Alex has just said it there, he's just summed it up. I think he holds on to the ball, and that's his type of style of play. Bruno, since he walked through the door back in 2020 or whenever it was, has always been about playing on the break, playing fast, trying to create a chance. Neither can do what either person can do for me. So, for example, I don't think Bruno can do what Mainoo does in terms of that ball retention and looking after the ball. But at the same time, Mainoo can't create chances like Bruno. So it is what it is for me. Now, I understand it for that particular game because I didn't know what the context was. And it was
Of course, context plays a big part.
Yeah. And that makes sense against City because I think in that game, we didn't have a lot of possession. I think we did lose the ball quite a bit. We were in control when we lost the ball, don't get me wrong, but I think we did lose the ball quite a bit. And he probably was getting a bit frustrated because if you're in midfield, central midfield, and it feels like you're not getting a break because the ball's coming back at you quite a bit, you're going to be thinking, can you just slow it down, just keep hold of the ball? I think the big deal is that what he's trying to say there, though, is his age. And it's all dependent on whether you've got an issue with someone younger telling someone older to keep hold of the ball and how much of a big deal you see that as. And I just think everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a right to say something. Mainoo's a quality player. I've got no issue with him saying something. Bruno would take it on the chin and probably understand what he's saying. But at the same time, Bruno will have his reasons for maybe trying something. So it is what it is for me. It's not a big deal in my opinion, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Rob says here Bruno has been looking much more disciplined lately. Again, I think Alex, you said this a few shows ago.
I agree with that.
Playing him in centre mid has made him more disciplined.
That's where it started.
Yeah, it's better all around player. You brought that up. Michael says here it's normal to have instructions passed around from every perspective on the pitch. I played, and I know for a fact that the captain sometimes can be told what to do by a player who sees it differently. For me, I think it's a good thing that players feel comfortable to tell Bruno what they feel. I think that's a great attribute of the captain. I don't think the captain has to be invincible and perfect, do they? And the fact that Mainoo is saying that to him, it's a good point, but it's just so funny, the two players, isn't it? Mainoo is very much like...
But he didn't do what Sancho did that time, did he? Because didn't Sancho tell someone to F off?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
stop whatever, yeah. So it's not the same, is it?
Yeah,
Carry on.
Yeah, no, you're right. But the point is, it's so funny because they're such opposite players, aren't they? Bruno's always looking for that pass that's going to kill the opposition. And Mainoo, I'm not saying he's not looking for that pass. He's just looking, how can we keep possession? How can we tire the opposition? How can we keep the ball? So it's very interesting to see these two players play together and making it work at the moment, right? But yeah, I mean... For the remark here, 20-year-old midfielder basically explains the value of looking after the ball to a 31-year-old skipper. Man,
I think he's pulling something to support his. I think you could get any team in the world, even at any level, where a number 8 sort of box to box will tell the number 10. Seedorf said it to Ronaldinho. You know, you're gonna get this. I'm not comparing the two players, by the way, but the same thing. Yeah. Roy Keane would have said it to Rooney. It's just a system thing of you've got a guy there who keeps possession very well. To be fair to him, you've got a guy who creates the best in the world, man.
But does lose the ball.
He does,
but does lose the ball.
You know,
risk and reward.
You know the pass from Bruno on the right hand side that went over to Dorgu in the game against City. First time ball, it was phenomenal. The technique to make that pass. You can't have it both ways, where you celebrate that and then get annoyed at one he might overhit. And to be fair, I stick with what I said. I think he's been way more picks his moments, Bruno, post the centre mid days. Shout out Amarim.
Yeah. for sure. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How Amarim's almost set this up for the next manager to come in and deliver. I'm feeling more and more like that. His stubbornness is what cost him, right? Because if he had just changed formation, if he had just tweaked some things, tried something different. But listen, we spoke about Steve Holland earlier. Maybe he's having a bigger impact than we feel. But to close the chapter on this Mainoo and Bruno thing, I like that players are telling each other what to do. I feel like both players could learn from each other, really. But at the end of the day, Bruno, what he's achieved in football in regards to statistics is unmatched. And Mainoo hopefully reaches that level too. And if Mainoo can stay at Manchester United and deliver 50% of what Bruno has, absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? That's not a knock on Mainoo, by the way. That's just saying that.
Yeah, we know you don't like Mainoo. We know you don't like
Yeah, exactly, mate. I'm the opposite to Rick, right? I am the complete opposite to Rick. So, yeah.
You Mainoo, and Rick got out of call, man.
Mainoo, do not be telling... Yeah, here's the truth now. Mainoo, do not be telling Bruno what to fucking do, all right?
Oh, Tom Cleverley, get back in your box.
Let Bruno do whatever the fuck he wants. Sorry, I tried to rein it in, but I got there in the end, right? Right, we move on to the next subject. West Ham, 5 in a row. I'll pop this up on the screen, guys. London Stadium, they posted this earlier, West Ham Central. I don't know what that is. Is that the Central line? God knows what that is. London Stadium is the only Premier League ground Manchester United have a 100% loss record at since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked. Right? We do not have a good record there. I mean, it cuts out a little bit there, but it seems like every time we've gone there for a while, all we do is lose. We definitely don't win, that's for sure. Dan, I'll come to you first here. This will be the 5th in a row. It will be another, shall we say, another bogey team. This is what I'm saying to you earlier. The whole
Every
fucking
team
league, the whole league feels like a bogey team to us.
Even Grimsby's our bogey team.
Yeah, exactly. Brighton, Spurs, West Ham at the London Stadium. It's absolutely ridiculous. Are we due a win, or is this Carrick delivering again? What do you think is going to happen in this game?
Not aware of the record, to be fair. I didn't think it was that grim, but it's not in the same sort of tone as the Spurs game where I think we're due a win. I think we're winning. It's as simple as that, because we're just a much better team. I appreciate that Nuno's there and he's settled things down. I appreciate they've actually got a decent record recently in terms of the games they've played. I get all that, but I just think there's nothing but us winning when we go to the London Stadium. For me, I think we've got much better players. We're on form. There's a bounce, but there's also some tactical tweaks there as well. And I just see us beating West Ham. That's all I see is a Man United win. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean,
5 wins in a row.
Fair play, Alex. Where are you at with it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've backed every single game.
Were you aware of how awful we are in that stadium?
Honestly, no, I agree with Dan. That shocked me a little bit, as bad as we have been for a good 80, because the back end of Ten Hag was poor, wasn't it? In fact, Ten Hag's last game was at West Ham, which was the loss that got him sacked. So I suppose if you think back in detail, maybe. Just seeing Dean's comment there, West Ham will be a tough test. Since the Arsenal game, since the City game, I backed United to win every single game under Carrick. I'm definitely going down that route. The only thing I would say is, I should have
all the way to the end.
All the way to the end. No, there's going to be. I don't know when I'm going to say we're going to lose, because the fixtures are quite kind. Right. Let me think about this. So West Ham, look, they are fighting for their lives, and that's not always a great thing when you go to them. Man United have got 2 days off in between games. We've got players in there who, let's face it, are benefiting from 1 game a week. Casemiro took a hefty blow. Is he good to go? How long can Casemiro play? Luke Shaw's played every game this season. These players, even Maguire and Martinez fresh off an ACL.
Really quickly, apparently, Mbuma was limping. I don't know if how true that is.
Limping.
Outside the
So we could be a little bit banged up going into this game. The banged up side of it now there's 2 things here. Does Carrick go full strength from minute 1? I assume he will do, because of the run, and you want to keep momentum. How long have they got? Can we get the game 2-0, 3-0 after an hour, 70 minutes, and then you can lean on Mazraoui, Ugarte, Yoro maybe? One thing I will say about West Ham is they've conceded 48 goals in 25 games. That's good for the worst defence in the league, other than Burnley. Burnley conceded 49. So Wolves and West Ham have conceded 48 goals against, man. They are shipping this season. Yeah. We are scoring.
And we're scoring goals, baby.
So I think, can we get it done in the first 60, 65 and we're going to need subs in this, boys. We're going to need to see Mazraoui, Ugarte. I know it's not going to be popular. It's going to have to happen. So I hope we can start a full strength team, and I hope we can get it done in the first 65. What do you think, Dave? Where are you at with this?
So quickly, you think we're going to win? Yeah,
I'm going to go 3. I'm between 3-1 and 3-2. I'm going to go 3-1 because I really want a comfortable one, to be honest.
Snap.
Yeah, 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1.
I'm very nervous about it. For many reasons. The fact that we've got an awful. Here we go. Look, Hammers Football TV. First time on here. Looking forward to tomorrow. Oh. Fair play. They've creeped in it. You've got an excellent record against us, Hammers Football TV, and especially in that stadium that you've got to walk about 25 minutes to get to, mate. And I know I've got no qualms in confessing it. I was a season ticket holder for about 3 years at West Ham, just because I wanted to watch football, and it was my nearest stadium. Yeah,
that's class. That's absolutely class. That.
And yeah, I get a lot of stick for it, but it is what it is, right? And all I ever watched was Manchester United fucking lose or draw there. That's all I ever watch. So that's why I know. That's why I know that the record is awful, absolutely awful. I think it's a case again. We're due a win. We're due to beat them. We are due to beat them. But you're right. The football we're playing, the amount of goals we're scoring, I think we're only 2 behind Arsenal. We were level with them before they played their game.
Set piece FC, we are.
I mean, yeah, but we're doing proper set pieces, Dan, not like the rugby team, like Alex says, they're literally, I'm wearing an MWO jumper. That's a WWE faction. Well, it was WCW faction. That's what Arsenal do when they take set pieces. It's fucking wrestling. It's the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
But there's two players that worry me though for West Ham, and that's Somerville and Bowen. I've got to say that. So we have to look after them. Too.
Is their form something that we have to look at? Like they are 18th. However, I'm looking at their form here. They beat Spurs, they beat Sunderland, they should have beat Chelsea, and then they beat Burnley in the last game. They've low-key won 3 out of the last 4 and were unlucky at Stamford Bridge, man. So maybe they're not the 3rd worst team in the league, and they're certainly not in the form table. Fuck me.
No. Yeah, I mean, Marv's saying here, rather play Lacey over Ugarte. I mean, it's impressive when he came on in that cameo. Was that Amarim's last game? It might have been, right? Or one of his last games.
It might have been Fletch,
you're right, Fletcher.
He
nearly put it in top bins, didn't he?
Confident kid.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since.
Yeah, we haven't. He got sent off, didn't he? He threw that ball away and got a second yellow, didn't he?
He's not been back in squad, has he?
Which was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, but he looked great when he came on, and that's what it's about, right?
Prospect, man.
But back to the game. There's a few reasons I'm worried, and I'm going to add this to the screen. And this shouldn't have an impact. But it fucking weirdly does. It weirdly does. This fella, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, like, fair play to his hustle, fair play to his idea. I mean, listen, we're all on YouTube now talking to each other. Ultimately, we love talking football, but we'd love to have 20% of his following, right? So people could come here and listen to us and what we're saying. But if we don't win tomorrow...
This continues.
It does continue, but how do you feel? Has he jinxed it? Do you believe in all that? Will he start getting stick? Like, mate, like, are you happy that we've not... This is not me digging him out, by the way. This is just me speaking out loud. Dan's always laughing because every time I say something like that, he's like, no, you are, Dave.
Frank Mainoo.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just saying. I'm like, Jesus, we're actually going to win 5 in a row and this fella's going to cut his hair. Surely not. It's become that. It started to become that. How do you, first and foremost, how have you felt about the United strand? His name's Frank. I didn't even realise that till looking at it now.
That's why I said Frank Mainoo. You don't like him.
Yeah, Frank, mate. Fair enough. I'm with you now. How do you feel about this? I'll start with you, Dan, seeing as you're laughing at it. Have you supported this? Have you just thought it was funny? Do you feel like he has any impact on tomorrow's game?
Yeah. Because I did it. It's in my video that comes out later on where I was watching the press conference and they brought it up in the press conference. They asked Carrick about it, and Carrick's heard about him because his kids have told him about him. But good answer was, I've heard about him. My kids have told me about him, but irrelevant to what I'm doing. We're professional. It has no bearing on the way we set up or anything like that. I think. For me, I didn't mind it at first, but obviously as time went on and we weren't getting it, I think when we got to the 3 in a row and I thought, right, we're going to get there now. But even that was like it felt pressurized. And I don't know if the players are taking this on, but it just feels, even to myself when I see him pop up on screen, it just feels really pressurized. And it feels like we've never really focused on 5 wins ever before. I don't remember us focusing on 5 wins in this way, in the way we have done since this guy's come along. Now, he seems a nice guy, got nothing personal against him because I don't know him, never met him. But I think it's made it a bit of a joke, if I'm honest. He's jumped on. It's clever. Don't get me wrong. It's clever, and it's got him in the spotlight. It's got him 1.2 million followers. Fair play to the guy. But all I want is 5 wins in a row, and for this guy to do 1 in the most respectful way. 5 wins in a row, do 1. Hair comes off. What do you do next? Don't really care, because I think it's just too much of a cloud hanging over. And like I say, I hope it's not impacting the club. And I think I wouldn't blame him for any jinx, by the way, because I just think we were shit anyway. We were not going to get 5 wins under Amorim, so it is what it is. But I just want this fella to get his hair cut, get his money for charity, which is fantastic, by the way. The money is raised for charity. Can't take that away from him. Fantastic. But I think once his hair's off, he'll just slip into the darkness, and then we could just carry on with our club.
Yeah, before you come in, Alex, I just want to read some of these. Funniest thing is, Frank did all of this for a laugh, to spread laughter in horrible times. It's now turned into a chore. Great point there. Frank is putting the team under pressure. This is the point I'm making. United under pressure because of Frank, yeah? If United lose tomorrow, that kid will get blamed, sadly. So much of this fan base is toxic. There's another one here, sorry. If I'm genuinely honest, I wouldn't have realised we hadn't won 5 in a row for so long if it wasn't for Frank. So there's a pro and con to that, right? He's highlighted how awful we've been, how the ownership need to step up. But at the same time, in this moment, it's starting to feel like, mate, honestly, this is going to sound terrible. I just wish he didn't exist for tomorrow. You know?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
No. Look, I mean, Feb, you've got to look. We're all sort of trying to make it in some way and enjoy it at the same time. And I must admit, like, I think fair play to the guy. First thing, you don't want to come across envious. However, to see him just stick out 20-second videos every week and build up a following of 1.2 million on Insta, that is, I think on TikTok he's even higher than that. It does take the piss a little bit when we're all grinding, putting in a lot of effort on YouTube tonight, another hour and a half, and he goes, I've still not had a fucking haircut. It does take the piss a bit. It probably says more about society than actual content in itself. Yeah. To echo both of your thoughts here, I seriously hope we win tomorrow for obviously footballing reasons, and to see the back of this guy as well, because it is the fact Carrick knows about it. He said his kids mentioned it. So all the players, I'm not saying it's in their head, but it's somewhere in their head. So that's not great for me. I don't love the fact that they're aware of it, because it is a thing. And fair play to the guy, he's made it a thing. But I'd love to see the back of him with a buzz cut, to be honest, after tomorrow.
Yeah, I hadn't spoken to you guys about this, right? So I wasn't sure how you would come at it, but it's exactly how I feel.
Brilliant.
Like, and again, I don't knock anyone's hustle. I rate the fella for smashing it, right? But it's starting to become now, mate, jog on. Like, honestly, I mean, how did you feel? This was a few months ago now, quite a while ago. I don't know if you saw the video, which I don't support, by the way, but the guy was bold as well. This was at Old Trafford. He grabbed the United strand by his hair and started ripping his head, like, because he was so furious that, you've built a following, you've gone huge because of, basically what AFTV were getting stick for back in the day. You guys have gone huge because of how awful the club's been, right?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's over the top. What he's doing is quite funny. But now, in hindsight, I look back and I kind of understand what that fella was doing. You should never do that to anyone. But yeah, he just grabbed him by his hair. I thought it was because he had hair, full stop. But no, it was because... listen, I really hope we win tomorrow, because if we don't, I am going to start... I'm going to start disliking the fella. I'm going to start disliking the fella. I ain't going to lie to you.
Just on the ball blow, fair play to him. He's probably paying 800 quid a year to watch Amorim shy. He goes into the terrace and sees that idiot making money off of it. I'm not surprised he lost his shit. I wouldn't have done that personally, yanking his afro, but I get it from like a personal perspective. He's like, fuck me, I've been a older for 20 years here, maybe, and I've got to watch this shit, and you make brand deals. Fuck off.
Yeah. It is a mad one, Michael.
The worst thing about it as well. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I'm going to say the worst thing about it as well is that we're out of all the competitions, so it's made it even harder to get this 5 in a row, and that's what's made it worse. And I think he's been very clever by not saying 3 in a row, because we could have done that. I know we didn't do it under Amorim, but 5 is quite clever in the sense that it's not unachievable, but it's long enough to get your hair to grow, to get your exposure, and he's got what he wanted. And I don't know if he intended to get to this big, because he'll probably say he didn't. But I just think the fact that we're out of all the competitions has made this absolutely, worse. And the thing is, like you've just said there, if we lose tomorrow, this shit starts again from zero. That's the problem. It's not unbeaten. Even if we draw, it starts again. This is the problem with this shit. If you
Yeah, I
draw
almost
tomorrow,
didn't
it
pay
starts
attention
again.
to it. Yeah, I almost
Fuck's
didn't pay
sake.
attention to
Get
it
rid
too
of him.
much. I was aware of it, but I would
Where does
never
he
really
live?
bring it up.
Where does he live? I've got some shears. Where does he live?
Yeah,
Spain. Spain. That's probably the problem.
yeah,
It's
Ah,
Spain.
Is it really Spain?
It
yeah, I
is
think you're
apparently
right.
Spain. So he
Actually.
must have flown over for the game.
Wow.
I think if he lived in Manchester, somebody would have just took to
Yeah,
it. Some
I don't
clippers
think you're
out and
far
about.
wrong. Michael
I mean,
says here, if the
I'm
hair
not
comes
advocating
off,
for that.
if the hair comes off, the next one he will do is not cutting his hair till we win the league. And you know what? I don't think Michael's far off here. I don't think Michael's far off here. I think he
Yeah.
may go down that route. Would he get as much support? Maybe, maybe
Nah,
not.
I
But
don't
I
think
think
this
he's
works
already
again.
built it. Even if he gets half the support, he'd be fine. If he does do that, I think he's going to get a lot of stick. Anyway, not not to go in on the fella, we have done, right? But it's starting to become where I'm nervous about tomorrow's game
Because of him.
we haven't won 5 in a row in ages,
Yeah.
and because of some fucking geezer and his haircut. It's mental.
Well, if he does do that till we win the league, I hope he has an haircut in May because that means
Yeah.
he's won it.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go through Carrick's biggest test yet, in my opinion. He's talking about obviously the West Ham game. Yeah, I thought Spurs was his biggest test after the Man, because Spurs was a bogey team. So I mean, all the tests are coming thick and fast. I used to have long hair. Trust me, his head will be hurting. This generally can cause migraines if your head isn't used to it. Blimey. Marv says, got to drop. Pete's got another meeting. Great show as always, lads. Thanks for being here, Marv. Yeah, I mean, listen. The United strand, fair play. I'm not knocking your hustle, but I think it's time to move on, mate. And I really hope the team thinks, he's basically been mocking them for a long time.
And look how clever he is with the name as well. Very close
Yeah,
to a
so
big
clever.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He can pretend he's all innocent, but there's a lot of cleverness that's gone into that.
Yeah, for sure. Spot on. Look, next
Shout
subject.
out Frank, though. Shout out Frank.
Yeah, I love it. That's a shout out, Frank, despite the negativity. Look, like I said, to summarize it, fair play. I wish I had a 10% of his following, but it's just becoming a little bit like, why am I nervous about tomorrow's game because of someone's fucking hair jinxing it, you know? Moving on to the next subject. This fella. I mean, listen, Man United get linked with all sorts of stuff, right? All sorts of stuff. What do you think of Tonali? Is he the right signing? Do we get rid of Casemiro and bring Tonali in? Is that what's happening? Do we keep Casemiro another year and add Tonali? I mean, is he good enough for Manchester United? That may sound like I'm going off the fact that we've won 4 games and everyone's performing. Where are you at, Alex? I'll go to you first.
Yeah.
Do you think Tonali's a good enough player for Manchester United?
I'm probably thinking of what the fee is. I do like Tonali, and I think going back to what we were talking about earlier about the physicality in the Prem, and this guy is a physical midfielder, box to box. He's not a direct replacement for Casemiro, but look at the squad. We are 1 injury suspension away from Ugarte starting games in a 4-2-3-1. Obviously, in Amorim's system, you had Mainoo and Ugarte on the bench because Bruno was playing in centre mid. Now Bruno's back to 10. We have no backup in centre mid other than Ugarte, and Casemiro's definitely going. So I think definitely we got to improve. We've got to increase this squad, man. We could play 55 games next year. I hope we do, but we can't do that with Mainoo, Ugarte, and one of Wharton and Elliot Anderson. You've got to build the squad up. I think he'd be a great pickup for that. Look, are we talking 50, 60, or are we talking 90, 100? Well, that's where I'm at a little bit. But I think physical midfielder, box to box, great engine, always fit and available. I think it's a no-brainer to go for him, honestly.
What about you, Dan? Good enough for Manchester United?
Yeah, I'll answer it in 2 ways. Good enough to play for Manchester United. Like Alex has just said there, everything you've said there, I'd agree with in terms of his ability. But I don't like the signing personally. And I think it's more to do with, again, can't judge people for an addiction, definitely not. But I just think there's a cloud over him still for me. I'm not sure about his conduct and all that sort of stuff. If they do their due diligence on him and he works out and they've worked out what he's like off the pitch and what all that sort of stuff, and it's going to work out for us, then maybe. But I just don't like it from the perspective of how much it would cost to bring him in, because I think I've heard stuff like 100 million, that sort of mark. I think that's just too much. I was hearing that he got a pay rise, and I don't know if that's linked to what he was doing off the pitch as well. So I just think there's still a little bit of something going on there, and his agent's pimping him out as well because
deadline day, right?
Into Arsenal, he was being offered around and stuff like that. So I don't really like stuff like that personally. So I also don't. I get it in terms of squad and everything, but I want somebody that's coming in that. It's weird to say replacing Casemiro because you'd never really say that back in the day. But just the height, I want the height, I want the strength, I want the physicality, I want to be good in the air. I think we'll lose all that when Casemiro goes. So to bring Tonali in, I just don't know if he ticks any of those boxes for me. I haven't watched him too much, but
is he a Ugarte replacement, not a Casemiro? Do you know what I'm saying? Where he's nowhere near Cas. Is he more of?
But he's not coming in to get the numbers up at 100 million, though, is he? That's the thing.
It's a good point. It is a very good point.
Who are we not getting if he comes in? If he comes in, who are we not getting instead?
Obviously, we've been linked with Belieber, with Wharton. By the way, I watched Belieber yesterday against Crystal Palace. Mate, I don't want to drift off here, but he was awful. He was awful.
I must need a new telly, man.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it probably should have been one of the subjects, but I kind of digested it and I didn't want the negativity. Do you know what I mean? But he was fucking awful yesterday, giving the ball away, positionally out. And, you can see him sprinting around because he's not in the right places, not because he's a fit geezer, right? It was fucking awful, Belieber.
He's been like that all season, Dave. I've not seen him play well.
He has. I mean, maybe we dodged a bullet there. Or maybe...
they're fixated on him.
This doesn't sound great. Maybe he's down tools, so he gets the move. But you're not going to fucking... You don't want players like that. You don't want players that do that, really, do you? There's a great comment here, though, from Michael, and it's so funny. Tonali is good, but I'd prefer their little Bruno because he's more of a workhorse than him. And Newcastle is struggling because of his absence. But wait for it. So funny. That's why Michael's such a long-term subscriber of mine. It's exactly what ran through my head. Right, I swear down. If there was a 20 million difference between the two, let's say one's 100, one's 120. God knows, I don't know what the prices are. Listen, that's not my job. That's why people work. That's why people have the jobs that they have at Man United. But if I had to pick between the two, and I know they're slightly different players, I know who I would pick. That's for sure. I want to show you guys something. Right, I'm going to put a heat map up here. You tell me which one's Bruno's and which one's Tonali's. Yeah. Bear in mind, Tonali's more of this is where my thought process, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. He kind of controls the game, breaks up play, keeps things ticking over. Kind of a bit of a hybrid of Mainoo and Casemiro, kind of, would we say? Bruno Guimaraes, in my opinion, does that and also does what Bruno Fernandes does a little bit, gets involved in the play up top.
He's good on it.
He's tenacious. Bruno. But anyway, I'm drifting.
Just on Bruno Guimaraes.
Go for it.
Is he? I mean, I know he's very well invested in Newcastle. You see there, he's the captain. He loves the city. The fans have got a real affection with him, where Tonali's not got that connection, probably to Dan's point, because of the betting scandal a little bit, and obviously the ban when they paid so much money for him. Does that make Bruno Guimaraes as gettable as Tonali? I know we're Man United, we should be able to go and beat
you're right.
But I'm just talking in terms of Tonali's gettable because he's not connected to the city. He loves Newcastle, and it's not as easy as a deal as the other one. That's the only thing I would say.
What I will say to that, you're 100% spot on, by the way. It's more realistic to get Tonali than it is to get Bruno Guimaraes, But the way Newcastle are going, I mean, players are going to start looking around. Players are going to start thinking, where do we go from here, But so that's why I think it might be realistic. And I'm just saying, if I had to pick between the two, guys, I know who I'm picking, to be honest. And that's why I've got this heat map up here. I'll go to you first, Dan. Who do you think the first heat map is, and whose basically? That's a heat map of Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. You tell me whose is who.
Yeah, I'd have probably thought it was Bruno's is on the left, and then Tonali on the right. So
Bruno's being the one with the red, more red in it, or you say Bruno's being the one with less red in it?
With more red in it.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Alex?
Mm. It's a tough one, that, isn't it? I would lean to agree. I think Bruno Guimaraes probably does get through more work, and he is more. He does get around the pitch more and has more touches. So I would go Bruno left, Tonali right. I think.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
You guys are absolutely spot on. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. But what I'm saying is he gets about the pitch just as much as Tonali does, and
He's a top
still has
player.
more of an impact. You know what I mean?
He's a top player, Bruno.
I think, and
Yes.
I agree with
Yeah.
Michael here. Little Bruno would be a perfect signing for us if we can't get Wharton or Anderson. But even if we can get either of them, let's go freaking sign Little Bruno and we will win the league. He'd be Roy Keane type. I mean, I'm not saying he's there, but I think he's a fantastic player. And if we're speaking to Newcastle, I don't think we should be speaking to Newcastle about Tonali, to be honest. I think we should be speaking about Bruno Guimaraes. This is the goals. Bruno Guimaraes being the yellow, Tonali being the blue. That's obviously, we kind of knew that. Goals, assists, Guimaraes would win that. Progressive carries. Tonali's holding his own there, to be fair to him. But Bruno Guimaraes is winning. Passing accuracy, I would have thought, mini Pirlo, Tonali would be ahead of that by far, because Guimaraes is one of them guys. He's a bit rough and rugged, isn't he? But no, he's actually slightly ahead in passing accuracy. And then you go to interceptions. Tonali slightly ahead of him there. Well, more than slightly ahead, would you say? I don't know. Blocks ahead. Tackles, Guimaraes is up there. And ground duels, Guimaraes is up there. Just all around, though, guys, Guimaraes is a much better player, in my opinion, than Tonali.
Yeah.
And then there's this little, defensive stability. Guimaraes being the yellow, Tonali being the blue. I mean, obviously Tonali slightly ahead of him on blocks and interceptions, but when you look to the right of this, Tonali's nowhere near him on the offensive side of things. Do you know what I mean? He's just a box-to-box midfielder, Bruno Guimaraes. And I feel like that's exactly what we need. Maybe I'm dreaming, but that's where I would go with it. But again, maybe that's me dreaming, guys. And
I think they need to sell, though, don't they? Go on, sorry, Alex.
No, I was just going to say about, obviously, we mentioned the Casemiro leaving, and it looks like Mainoo is in as a starter. And I'm the first person to say you need a bench in the Prem. You got to have two teams, not one these days. But to you guys just both mentioned it there. 100 mil, he's coming in to start, and that's what Bruno Guimaraes is going to cost. Can he play with Mainoo in a 2 with Bruno as the 10? Is it Mainoo versus Bruno Guimaraes, and then Bruno as the 10, and then you need a Casemiro replacement? I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's not an absolute perfect for me, and it would worry me a little bit. Are we going back, getting overran with a Bruno, Mainoo midfield? You get me?
Yeah, I get you. Maybe I'm getting excited.
We need a squad. We need a squad. So
I love
Newcastle need to sell, and I think if Newcastle don't get European football, this not screwed is probably the wrong word, but they're not. It's like now, where are they going? What's their direction? What are they actually doing now? Because I can't tell you that, and I think because they're hamstrung by how much they can spend, they're rich, but they just can't spend the money. So they're sort of relying on trying to get into that top 4 on a regular basis to try and.
I think Hammers TV came in here. What you have to consider is next season SCR comes in to replace PSR, so he may stay at the tune if they start spending. So that obviously allows them to spend more.
It'll give them a bit more flexibility, but they still need to do more though, because they still need to get a new stadium. They still need all the sponsorship, so they still need to create money. The fan base, I think, is quite big, but it's just. They don't have enough coming into the club for me. So I think they're going to want to sell. And I don't know if you're going to mention it, but Gordon keeps coming up, doesn't he, in terms of a target. Anthony Gordon, I think, I don't need to have him. But
no, thank you. No,
they do need to sell somebody, I think, just to move on. It's almost like they need to move a piece out to bring a piece in. So they're going to have to move someone on. I think it's going to be Tonali that moves.
I could see that.
Flossie's coming. Obviously a Newcastle fan, and she's got Tonali on her DP. Bruno is going nowhere, and Tonali going to Juventus. Well, thanks for making our evening, Flossie. We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate your positive.
You can have neither.
Let's move on then.
We appreciate your positive feedback there. Little Bruno deserves us breaking our transfer record, and he will pair very well with Mainoo. Then we can get Stiller for depth. We can also sign either Wharton or Anderson because we'll be focused on the mid. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we don't know how to sign midfielders. We just don't, right? I mean, Casemiro's come good at the very end. I was calling him a flop a few weeks ago, and here he comes proving me wrong once again. But I think Bruno Guimaraes, if we're going to get rid of Casemiro's, what is it, 350k a week? I'm not saying give it to Bruno Guimaraes, but that could be a way to persuade him, is what I'm saying, you know? But anyway, moving on to that and on to the next subject. I actually had a picture to put up on the screen, but I didn't load it up. But who needs a picture of fucking Erling Haaland anyway, right? I just want to touch base on that game yesterday because that was fucking mental, like absolutely mental. The ending, which we'll talk about after, whether that should have been, I mean, that was tit for tat. And there's that whole double jeopardy thing. I mean, I'm sure Liverpool would have taken the fact that don't give us a red card, give them the goal. I've said here a few times that I feel like the league's going to go down to goal difference, right? And that goal could be fucking important, proper important. But I mean, Dan, how did you watch that game yesterday? Maybe you were working, but I mean, that's a huge result for City, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Watched bits of it. It was just a crazy game, but what I saw of it, it looked end to end, which you like to see. And it's nice when you haven't got a team in that fight. You can just watch and be relaxed about it. But no, it was a really good game overall, to be fair. But there's some crazy stuff going on in that game. Even just like the sitters that were missed as well. I think Haaland should have scored before he did, before the penalty. Ekitike is normally good in front of goal, and he had a couple of sitters, I think. Alisson was doing crazy stuff as well, just rushing out of his area and all sorts of stuff, and then giving that penalty away as well. It was just a absolutely nutcase game, but it was more about, I mean, we were sort of discussing that free kick. I mean, Soberslai's free kick, wow.
Like, mate.
I mean, he's got it in his locker, hasn't it, to score these bangers.
Yeah.
But that, for me, was unreal, how he's hit that.
He's done that twice this season, basically, hasn't he?
Yeah. Awesome. But I think in regards to the game, just that, I suppose we want to discuss that decision in more detail, but that decision at the end, and like you say, I think Liverpool would have preferred that to stand and Soberslai to play the next game because he's their best player this season for what I've seen. I know Vert's getting better. I know Ekitike had a really good start, but Soberslai's just kept he's just kept his good play all the way through. So
yeah, he has, and he's played absolutely everywhere for them. Talk about utility playing.
Oh yeah, he has. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's played right back,
everywhere for them.
Right back, yes.
Goalkeeper.
Before I go to Alex, Dan, what do you think that means for the title? Does it change anything? Does it give City the impetus to kick on?
Yeah, I think there's two things that's gone on there for me. I think there's really touch on quickly about what it's done for Liverpool and sort of not cementing, because that's the wrong word for us, but giving us a bit more breathing space. Because I think for me, our worry has been Liverpool maybe catching us and taking over us potentially and dropping us out of the top five. I think Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts. We're 5 points ahead of Liverpool now, so that's really good, obviously. So I don't really see another team really being in contention of that top five other than Liverpool, because I think Newcastle have fallen away a little bit as well. And I just think the other ones they'll win a game and then drop a game, they'll win a game and drop a game. But in terms of the title itself, I think if City had lost this game, Arsenal would have been, 9 points clear they would have been, really confident into the next game. I think to have City, I mean, I'm saying this to say I'm happy with City, I can't stand them, but it's nice to see a title sort of challenge, really, because I think it would have been, probably could have been dead and buried if City had lost yesterday. So I think it's nice that that's still alive, and I think it puts a bit of pressure on Arsenal. And I think where Arsenal probably would have thought, we've got these points ahead. Now they're thinking, shit, they've just beat Liverpool. It's been a great game. They've now got to, because I think there's a moment when City play before them coming up.
I think there is, which could be 3 points, right? In it after
Wednesday, Thursday.
So that could be the difference. I'm not saying it's going to stop Arsenal, because I still feel. I know what you're thinking about Arsenal, David, but I still feel that they'll win 2 cups personally. But it'll definitely put the pressure on. It'll definitely be squeaky bum time for them.
I mean, Twisted says here, unfortunately, rules are rules. Soberslai stopped the clear goal scoring opportunity, and Haaland prevented Soberslai from saving the shot. in the case for a red and a disallowed goal, rules are
Yeah.
rules for sure. I mean, that is a great point, but it was just one of those situations where it was like, and the ref fair play to him left it. It was VAR that called it back, right? That's
It
what I
was.
noticed. Maybe I
No,
got
it
it
was.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was VAR that said no. You can't just let you can't turn this into FIFA Street. If anyone remembers those games, yeah,
Last game.
Ronaldinho barefoot class game. But yeah, you can't just turn this into FIFA Street. But I thought it was tit for tat. You know what I mean? I would have given the goal, but of course, rules are rules.
Rules.
Alex, I mean, your brother's a Man City fan. You know,
He is.
how did I kind of want to get him on here
I know.
eventually to kind of see how he feels.
yeah.
You know, does that change anything yesterday? I mean, we know it's a massive result, but does that change anything for him, for Man City?
He's very obviously very happy, and you get the win. They were 5 minutes away from a loss, so we can talk about the narrative flipping that quickly. They have a poor record at Anfield. I think it said they've won three times in their last 50 odd games there, which is incredible for how good they have been. He's quietly confident now because he thinks that I know my brother thinks that if they can get to the Etihad within 4 or 3. He thinks they'll beat them and then they will crack in the last 6 games. That's what he thinks. Now, I think it's a big ask still. I think City have got to win 11 out of 13. I was looking at the numbers today, and City of old could win 13 out of 13. This City, I'm not saying they can't, but I've got to see it. The narrative flipped quickly yesterday. They were 5 minutes from a loss. Brilliant. If Alisson doesn't do that, it's exactly. And so I think that I've got to see a bit more from City. Go and take care of Fulham on Wednesday. Take care of the next game. Do you boys think the Carabao is a big game now? It is it's a final, but as Carabaos go, the psychological impact here. If Arsenal beat them, they go, we've took down the big brother. We can go and win it now. Other way round, City go, these are going to crack. So I think that Carabao, mate, is massive.
Yeah,
where you at with it? I know you fucking hate.
Well, I mean, I think Alisson did everything for a good cause yesterday. You know, Alisson,
what was he thinking, man? Nunes as well. What?
I mean, he got the memo, Alisson. He's obviously got the memo and said,
title race.
We can't let Arsenal win anything. You know, he got the memo, and I thank him for it. He's an absolute moron for doing it, like in footballing terms. But for me, I clapped him, stood up and said, what a fantastic goalkeeper. Fantastic. All for a good cause. I just, I get called not a real Man United fan, this, that, and the other. I just do not want Arsenal to win anything. So, listen, I think it changes the title race. I'll take your points on board that City, you can't trust them to go on a 10 streak. No. Win, you can't, but I mean, if anything's going to give them a lift to try and do so, it was a win like that, right? I mean, that was huge. I mean, I think even Pep Guardiola was done and dusted, wasn't he? And he stood up and almost it lit a fire under him as well. It's going to be very interesting, and I think you're spot on. And you know what? I didn't even think about it. Whoever wins that Carabao Cup final could be the winner of the Premier League, to be honest with you. That's who could kick on to say, no, mate. If it's City, we're the bosses. We always catch you. You always bottle it. Or it could be Arsenal saying, you're done. You're finished. Your manager's finished. End of an era for you guys, and it's our time to dominate. But I wanted to touch base on it because, listen, we're both, all three of us are football fans. And what a game. What a game.
Great narrative.
Penalty from Haaland, though. How cool was that, though?
Yeah.
That's a pressure pen, that. But he's a good player, though, isn't he? Unfortunately.
I mean, Hammers Football TV says here, City have the cojones to see cup games through, whereas this Arsenal side, even though on form, it's still iffy territory.
Not the same City, though. They're not the same.
Question is, does Pep still have Arteta's number? It is turning into that a little bit, you know?
He has to little bro him again. Little bro him.
Yeah, he has to little bro him. He really does. And it's starting to become... I mean, Arteta hasn't won anything yet.
No.
I mean, apart from that FA Cup, but listen,
the Carabao's massive, Dave. It's a massive one for Arsenal.
It's huge. Arteta needs to get that over the line. If he doesn't, the question marks are there. You know, Michael says here, Arsenal and City would both bottle it, and the United will come and sweep it.
No chance.
Just I asked. Yeah, great comment by the way there, Michael. Fantastic. I like to see that. But I've got one here. Obviously, Dave, we had a conversation on post game. First time I've seen Dan. Dan, if we sacked Amorim after Grimsby and got Carrick in, then Are Manchester United in a title race right now?
Yeah, I heard this. I'm I'm going to say it's easy to say that because of how we play, the points that we're putting on the board. But I think there's so much that goes into it than that, though, isn't there? And I think it's one of those where it's, I mean, possibility. I mean, one thing I will say is that I have said myself that if Carrick had come in earlier, would be much higher up in the league. So in a way, I'm kind of answering it to a certain extent, but I just think there's a lot more that comes into it than that. I think there's more time for the players to sort of fall off the bounce, if you want to call it that, a little bit.
True.
So I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard one to say that really because you're only going off what's happening right now, and you just don't know whether he's just coming at the right time. It's all about timing sometimes. Because even that game against Spurs, although I believe, I know Spurs fans don't, even though I believe that I still think we'd still beat Spurs with 11 men. Certain things that are falling into place, isn't there? So,
Everything he's touching is turning to gold, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
which you make your own look in this.
A strong third.
Yeah, I think that's what Michael's saying here.
I'd say. Yeah.
Certainly,
I think
it's about a title race. I'm not sure about the title race.
I think the thing is with the question, not would we win the title if Carrick came in after Grimsby, but if you're say 6 points better off right now, you're level with City, you're 6 off Arsenal, you're probably not going to win it from here if we were 6 points better off. But we are technically in a title race if we had 6 more points. And I think Michael might have mentioned there: Wolves home, Everton home, Bournemouth home, West Ham home. I'm sorry, he took 3 points from them 4 games.
But are we still in the FA Cup? Are we still in the? I mean,
these are all valid.
If we talk about Grimsby knocking us out, then fair enough. We're not in that cup, but we're still in the FA Cup potentially. So there's different factors, isn't there? But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a great question.
Bit of tongue in cheek, but I
mean, Alex, you ain't been far wrong with your crazy takes, to be honest.
We'll never know. That's the problem. We'll never know.
Attack, man.
We'll never know. But I mean, I think we did sack Cameron a little bit too late. Now, in hindsight, it should never have gotten to the point he was basically resigning. That's what happened. I mean, which brings us to the last point of the show, which is, where do you think we finish, guys? Where do we finish? I'll go to you, Alex, first, seeing as you got the bold predictions. Where do we finish?
Alex, yes. Come on, Alex.
Okay. We're gonna finish 3rd this season. And just slightly linked to the previous point, and I really want to get you to take on this with the specifics of position and how many points off the title winners, be it whoever you think it's going to be. I think we're 12 off Arsenal right now. I think we're going to come 3rd and we're going to be closer than 12 points. I think 3rd and 9 points off the winners is my prediction. I think we're going to outperform both of them two above us till the end of the season. But
3rd and 9 points off the winners, yeah?
I think so. We're 12 points off the leaders right now. I think we're going to outperform Arsenal by 3 points, but it's obviously not enough. We will still be behind them. We'll jump Villa, we'll be behind City, and Arsenal will win it. That's my prediction.
So before you go, Dan, you don't see this bounce ending? You don't see anything changing? You don't think this is a bounce? You think this is Manchester United moving forward?
Winning every game, aren't we, Alex?
But what we got left?
Yeah,
What
13
is it 13 games?
13 left.
You think we're going to be this exact Manchester United from now till the end of the season? I mean, Michael thinks that, but do you think that? That's fine to think. I can see why you feel that way, but is that what you think?
So we're not going to win every game. I'm not like that mental. I think that. I think
a shout out to you, Michael.
I think what did he say? We finished that if we don't win the league, right? Okay. I like Michael. He thinks we got a shot. But look, so let me say this right. Arsenal City have got their eyes on 3 other competitions right now. Carabao they're both playing each other. You've Champions League and you've got FA Cup. Both of them are going strong in both. United don't. Arsenal and City are going to have a Real Madrid 2 legs either side of 2 league games. Man United don't. Now, I don't think United are going to... I think, look, there's going to be some reduced to the mean a little bit. You're going to have an unlucky day at the office. You're going to have a Maguire on the halfway line, get stunning behind, and we might draw or lose. But I don't think City and Arsenal are going to stomp home here. Either of them. They're going to have games where they slip up. I don't think we're going to be perfect. I see about an 82-point an 83-point title winner this season. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah,
We
I
all
see about an
appreciate it, mate. Thanks for that.
I see about an 82-point title win this season. And I think we will be, what did I say? 73 points, Man United. That's what I think.
Woof, fair play, Dan. Take the floor, mate. What's happening?
Oof.
Do you see us going backwards in any way? Do you see this bounce softening? You know, do you see this bouncy ball deflating? Bouncy ball's made out of rubber, so it doesn't deflate. But somehow a rubber bouncy ball, when it comes to Manchester United, could deflate. What do you think's happening, Dan? Where do we finish?
Be like
winning the league.
It's going to be like tires that you get on like a forklift truck. You can't pop them. There's no taking the bounce off this team.
I like that.
I haven't thought about the points like Alex has, because I can tell Alex has really thought about this.
What did you say, Alex? You said 73 points, did you?
Yeah.
I think league winner 82, United 73 and third. That's
I think Twisted thought you said 83. You didn't. You said 73. Yeah, carry on.
Well, it's probably not strangely. I'm with Alex all the way in terms of where we're finishing. I'm going for third, and the reason being is because for me, I think the team that could stop us getting third could be Chelsea, because they're strangely on the quiet. They've done similar to us, haven't they? Or we've done similar to them, where they've got rid of their coach and they've brought in. I know he wasn't an ex-player, but part of their group in turn is a coach that you wouldn't have thought would be coming in. And I know that is permanent. I know it's slightly different, but it's given them a little bit of a bounce. So we're in a similar positions, us and Chelsea. So that's going to be quite interesting towards the end of the season. And I don't know what their running's like, but it's going to be interesting. But I've got both eyes on Villa. I think Villa are going to slip. I really think Villa will slip. Yeah. I think they've got players out. I think they're struggling in midfield. And I think Villa will slip out, will slip out of the top four for me. They might get fifth, but I think they're going to slip out of the top four. And I think it's going to be us or Chelsea get third, or us and Chelsea get fourth. So one of the two.
Fair enough.
I don't think we've got enough to get second. I think although City aren't the same City, I think they'll put enough in there to either get second or even win it. But I still think Arsenal are going to win it. So for me, I'm going third. Points, I've not thought about the points, but I think in terms of bounce, I'm not saying that it's going to be deflated. I don't think that per se. I think we might drop points here and there in terms of a draw here and there. I can't right now. I can't see a loss. It's weird. Maybe it's just giddiness, but I think we might get where we think, we're going to win this game. We might end up with a draw, for example, and just drop a point here and there. But for me, I just see us marching on to the end. I think the bounce is there. I think the players are playing well. I think they're in the right position.
The parade, Dan. He's booking that parade, isn't
he? They're all gearing up to. I think for me, I think the focus is getting top four, and I think that's in the players' heads. I don't think the players are thinking about the league. I don't even think they're thinking about third, to be fair. I think they're thinking about top five and getting European football. I think we are going to get that mission achieved. I just think because Villa, I just see Villa slipping down, so that's why I'm thinking third. Third or fourth. I'm going to go with third.
Fair play. So you're both gone third. Just to clear up earlier, no, you said that the winner would get 82 points.
I did.
And Twisted is saying mathematically we can get 83. But FYI, I don't actually think we will win the league, but it's funny and cool to be giddy right now, basically.
It's nice for it to be a possibility, put it that way, because it definitely wasn't weeks and weeks ago,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that
bring us back down to earth, then, David. Come on, bring us back down to earth.
I think that brings it to me. Short and sweet. I think we'll finish fifth, which will be enough to get Champions League, apparently this season, and I think it will be. Thank you very much, Michael Carrick. Did a fantastic job. I think the bounce will deflate. The rubber bouncy ball will somehow find some air. And some results will start creeping in where we're like, fuck's sake, what's going on here? We cling on, we get fifth, and he does the job he came in to do, and that's get us Champions League. We then move on from there and decide what we do in regards to manager. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I'm happy if he gets third. And I will always come here and be like, guys, I got it wrong. But that's what I think will happen. That's
I
what I
just
think.
think everything's pointing, the way this club's been over the years, everything's pointing to a really tough decision at the end of the season. And that being finishing high enough.
That brings
So
me.
obviously not winning the league, but finishing high enough for a decision to be made. So that's why I'm thinking it's higher than 5th.
Yeah, we'll give you the band-aid after tomorrow, Dave. Yeah, I just think reality's going to hit
Yeah.
my glasses off my face eventually. You know, it's going to slap my beard into another direction eventually. And I think 5th is very realistic, considering he has improved us, considering
It's
the players are now.
Carrick.
Yeah, I hear you. That's just look. I hope I'm wrong. That's my prediction, and you kind of segued us into the last bit actually, and my last little question. You know, if he finishes 3rd or if he finishes 5th, I think that's 2 different conversations in regards to the end of the season. If he finishes 5th, I think it's a case of okay, thank you very much. Like I said, let's go and get a Luis Enrique or somewhere else. But if he finishes 3rd, it's another conversation. I'm going to add this to the screen. Just so everyone knows, Maurizio Sarri's given up smoking. Just so everyone knows. I don't know why I wanted to throw that in there, but it popped up and I thought, good on him. What a flipping legend, still trying to smoke cigarettes. Do you remember when Kepa refused to get subbed off and he went absolutely ballistic? Such a
he was
funny
eating fag ends, wasn't he, when he was Chelsea manager because he couldn't smoke. Eating fag ends.
But yeah, it just popped up. He's given up smoking. He must be losing the plot. Players must be getting smacked up. But the reason I popped this on the screen, it was Gary Neville. You know, Manchester United won't be forced into making managerial appointments now by wins. But Gary Neville on Man United potentially appointing Michael Carrick. What United have said is they're not going to be bounced, keyword, into, irrespective of wins or draws or losses on the pitch in this next couple of months, making an appointment. They're going to wait until the end of the season. I mean, Gary Neville seems to know, you know, he must be in the know the way he's talking, right? I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I think he's just basically trying to say that no one's getting carried away with 4 wins. If he finishes 5th, this is my last question to you guys, and we'll call it there. If he finishes 5th, I'll go to you first, Alex. Do you move on from him?
Oh, this is a tough one, isn't it? Part of me thinks that I think I've got a little bit of Solskjaer PTSD here. Now, first thing, wait till the end of the season, ticks that box of the Solskjaer PTSD, because I did a little bit of a dig down memory lane today. I've not got better things to do. So I thought, let's have a look at when Ollie got the job mid-season. Ollie got the permanent job after the PSG win. 28th of March, I looked today. We had 8 league games left. We should have qualified for Europe that season. We finished 6th. In those 8 league games, Solskjaer won 2, drew 2, lost 4, including Huddersfield and Cardiff in the last 2 games. We finished 5 points off Tottenham in 4th. That cost us Champions League qualification. And if we hadn't give him the 3-year contract on the 28th of March, do we draw a line at Solskjaer and go, good vibes to start, the toxic dressing room, you sorted that out. However, we're going to go on to an experienced coach, not give the mould manager 500 million. I am a little bit worried about Carrick does a great job. There's 250 million. He's no experience spending that sort of cash, albeit I think he's got a great football brain. Champions League games, as he coached 1 in his career when the last interim. He's not got experience in the Champions League. And it's like, we want to go into the Champions League. We don't want an audition. We want to be back there. We want to be out competing for the Champions League, but I want to be a problem. I want to be in the round of 16 going, we don't want Man United, not just crashing out of the group stage. So, look, I think it's a big decision. I think he's got to really do well till the end of the season for me to say yes. So 5th, I'm saying no.
Yeah, okay. So before I move to Dan, so you're saying if he finishes 5th, it's very much like, thank you so much, Kadiki, as Ollie would have called him. And cheers for getting us in the Champions League, but time to move on. And as Hammers Football TV says here, Carrick can move on and be the Hammers manager. But if he finishes 3rd, Alex, or, I mean, everything is pointing to 2nd. Hear me out. This city isn't the city of old. They're shaking and not consistent. We are 6 off 2nd and 3 off 3rd. Look, I'm going to say 3rd and 2nd is the same-ish to me, to be honest with you, right? I get it. Finishing above City is a huge achievement. I'm going to say it's the same sort of shit, to be honest.
It's the same.
Yeah, if he finishes third or second, Alex, does your tune change?
I think that's the conversation point for me. I think that's when you look into it and you weigh up the pros and cons. The cons aren't going to go away. He's no experience spending 250 mil. He's no experience in the Champions League, which we hope to be playing either way next season. But I'm willing to sit up and think, okay, well, who are my options here? Ultimately, you don't get experience till you've had the chance. Pep Guardiola was Barca B coach one day.
There you go. Pep wasn't experienced before.
Sorry, I hadn't even seen that. Shout out, Michael.
And this was the point about what you said earlier about he's not spent 200 million before. I've been shouting this in the TFT chat, and people, it's more to trigger Terry and Goldbridge, but I believe what I'm saying, right? But on the other side, Ineos, although have been rough with most decisions, have made exceptional signings. Leave the football on the field to carry everything else to the right people. I kind of agree with Twisted here, where the signings, you go Le Mans, Dorgu, Mbumo, Cunha, they've all been great, especially since Carrick has come in. And they've all been great signings. So if they can support him with another 4 or 2 to 3 signings of that ilk to have that sort of impact, geez, he can kick on. But I mean, sorry,
they did. No, you're good. They did want Delap and Belieber though, so it can go. There's two that look. I think that last summer was exceptional. There's no way you hit 4 times with that money. I think brilliant. But you're a Delap decision away from having him wrestling people up top instead of.
And we can't ignore Belieber. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You cannot ignore Belieber. I watched him yesterday. Whoever's still here, maybe we're being harsh, but if you watched that game yesterday, he was all over the place, man. But I hear your point. But to summarize, Alex, you're saying if he finishes 5th, it's cheers, thanks a lot.
Yes.
Move on. And basically what Michael's saying here, Carrick should be number 2 to Don Carlo and take over for him after 2 seasons and become our Zizou. I know you're not quite saying that, but you're basically saying move on. But if he finishes 2nd or 3rd, sorry, I didn't actually get what you said there. Where do you go with that?
I want to think about it a little bit more before not that I'm the decision maker here. I think the club is hopefully taking the same approach. But I think I'm willing to get to that part of the 38th game finishes, full-time whistle goes, get everything in my head and think, where would I go based on what I've seen? There is shot in the dark attached to Carrick. There is, if we have a bad run, us 3 will be sat here going, why did we not go experienced? And that's my concern. If a Luis Enrique, if an Ancelotti has a bad run, we can sit there and go, they will figure this out. If we give Carrick 300 million and we go out in the group stage of the Champions League and we're 6th, we're going to be sat here going, we saw it with Ollie, why did we do it again? And that's where
I hear you.
I'm getting dragged a little bit back into, let's take our time with this. Let's see how well it goes. Because he's got to earn this. He's the ex-Middlesbrough coach, lads. I'm not having to go at him. Everyone's got, look, Barca B.
You made a great point, though, Alex, when you came on the reaction show.
Yeah.
I think you said that Carrick's issues at Middlesbrough were his defensive side of things. That's where Steve Holland's come in, right?
And he looks an amazing addition, doesn't he? And I think we're looking at Carrick as the big picture here. His coaching staff. Steve Holland, highly rated off the ball. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, no, I completely hear you. Yeah,
I hear you. You don't want to put your head on the chopping block for not just 2nd or 3rd. Fair enough.
Let's enjoy hopefully enjoy till that 38th game whistle goes, Dave, and then we all have a conversation. See what we feel at the time. Is there an unbelievable coach that wants to come to what might seem a great project now, Man United, not the Poison Chalice? Maybe Enrique's sick of PSG. They're scraping away in the French league, by the way. They're topped by a couple of points over Lens. So he might go, you know what? I might fancy that. And if that's a conversation, are we picking Carrick over Enrique?
Yeah, exactly.
You get my point.
Yeah,
so let's enjoy it, see where we get to.
Thanks, Hammers Football TV. Thanks for subbing to these guys as well. They'll appreciate it. Hope to have you back here soon. No, I hear you, Alex. And listen, spot on. I hear you not putting your head on the chopping block. I'll put mine on the chopping block. Don't you worry. But let's go. Dan, tell me, if we finish 5th, where are you at with Carrick? Or is there no difference for you?
There is a difference between 5th and 3rd. And I'm with you. I think 2nd and 3rd are just the same, really. It's so hard, this question, and I'm glad I'm not Jason Wilcox, but it's so hard, this question, because I think if you where are we now? February. If you approach elite coaches, make your mind up in end of March, let's say, and an announcement's made, we are bringing whoever it is in, fine, it puts it all to bed, doesn't it? But I think if they do wait till the end of the season, which I do think's right, providing that they are working on things throughout, though. I don't want it just to be, we get to May, right, who we're having, who we getting. It's got to be a process in the background, and then by the time you get to May, you know where you're going. Now, the problem for me is, if this run continues with Carrick...
Yeah, I think Christian's alluding to that here, right?
Yeah,
probably is an easy option for the United board.
Yeah, and you end up finishing 5th because there's a little bit of blips here and there, let's say, but you still get Champions League. What's going to be difficult is off the pitch stuff as well. So we all took the piss out of Steve Holland. We took the piss out of Woodgate, Johnny Evans, you name it. But what if these guys are doing some amazing work in the background? Carrick's doing the business front of house sort of thing. So his front of house is sort of bringing all the customers in. You've got in the back cooking up in the kitchen. There's Steve Holland, there's Woodgate, you name it, cooking up a storm. And the dishes that are coming out are fantastic. It's going to be very difficult to get rid of that.
And bringing a paella.
and going into the unknown, because it's whichever coach that comes in, it's an unknown. Now, for me, I'm still of the opinion of bring an elite coach in. Problem is, I was sort of before Carrick came in, I was talking about your Unite Emery's and all that sort of stuff. In our show, we talked about, no, let's bring an elite coach in, and I was fully on board. Problem is, as far as I'm aware, PSG have got Enrique till 2027, and they're not letting him go. Even if he's going to run his contract down, they're not letting him go, and they wanted him to extend. So that would say to me, you're not getting him this year anyway, if that's true. So that's one out of the way if that's true. So all you're really left with is Tuchel, because I'm sure Ancelotti, I might be wrong about this, but I thought he'd signed an extension with Brazil. He's already made comments, if that were true, that he wouldn't want to take on Manchester United because it's too much pressure. So if he has said that, that's a worry. So who have you got left? That's the problem. So again, I agree that we need to wait. I agree that we need to see what's in front of us. But I think what would be wrong is completely discarding Carrick and not at least surveying everything first before we make a decision. And it can't be rash. Now, the problem I've got as well, though, is PTSD, Ole. And that's not fair on Carrick, but even like what Christian's saying there, I didn't read the full thing as I were talking, but a rival fan is going to say, look at him again. They're bringing in an ex-legend. It's going to go to shit. He'll get sacked in 18 months. And they're probably right. They're probably right. But the problem is, again, though, is I also don't want, apart from Enrique, as I've said before, and maybe Tuchel, I don't want another coach coming in, like a De Zerbi, for example.
Or Glasner.
And fucks everything up and then pisses off. I don't want that again. I don't want to hit.
I don't know if you watched Glasner last night.
I don't want him.
Night, wasn't it? He was going, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
All of that.
I don't want all this complicated.
I was watching it thinking, oh, shit. No, please. Yeah. I don't need that at Old Trafford anymore. Yeah. All this, fucking math equation in thin air. Yeah.
And getting out the tactics board and all that sort of stuff, and it's just bamboozling our players.
Whilst you're taking penalties against Grimsby, do you know what I mean? Like, sorry to interrupt that. I'm with you there. I don't want it, but go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll say on that is where it's PTSD for me, where I'm not saying Carrick. So I think if Ollie hadn't have happened, my answer would have been a bit different. I'll be honest with you. But I think on the flip side, so just to pull up one of Alex's points, I would just slightly disagree in terms of the signings because I don't think he'll be really doing the signings. But you are right, though. We were close to getting Liam Delap, and I did not want him.
Yeah.
I didn't want a wrestler. Belieber, I wanted him before he dipped, but I think he's dipped because he didn't get the move, which is also concerning.
Yeah, I said that earlier,
But I think they were going for Rory Delap because he was cheap, though. And I think that was another. And then Wilcox knows him from Man City. So that's another problem for me. So they're very sketchy with the way that they brought players in.
Michael saying
here and there.
Michael's saying
But
here Carrick had a better CV than Arteta, both as a
That's
player
fair.
now as a coach.
yeah,
But what I will say, he
this-
didn't work with Pep, right? He
No.
worked with Pep in the background, like for a long,
Yeah,
long time. But I mean,
what we can't do though, what we can't do is say stuff like when we were back in Amarim, it was like, well, look how long it took Arteta to get to where he is now. Or look
It's
at him now.
irrelevant.
So just give
well,
Amarim time.
but to be
It
fair to
doesn't
us as a
work for
fan
every
base,
person.
to be fair
No.
to us as a fan base, that was our owner that said that.
Mm.
Jim Radcliffe was the one that came out and said, look how long it took Arteta to get things to improve. And
What
when you hear
relevance has
that,
that got?
whether you agree with it or not, it
Mm.
digests, doesn't it? It goes into your head and you
Yeah.
start to think to yourself, yeah, maybe there's a point there. Maybe there's something in that. Because, I mean, listen, I don't want to go fucking 6 years into a project without winning anything major. I don't. But if someone said to me right now, guys, and I don't know about you, I don't want to start another question. We're on an hour and a half here. But if someone said to me right now, in 6 years' time, you're going to win the Premier League, take it or leave it, I'd take it.
Yeah.
I would take it.
No doubt.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I was kind of in there. But I mean,
My last point
on
Carrick, though,
on.
Carrick, really quickly, is that can he? So, like we've talked about signings. So, let's say we bring in equivalents or better than Mbuma and Cunha, and now you've got a real squad, but now you've got real competition. Can he handle the egos? Because Fergie could. He's the master at it. Pep can. He's also a master at it. But can Carrick do that? There's no evidence of that. So that's the only thing.
It's another question mark, isn't it?
I keep saying that, and it is. I keep saying it's easier to be an interim than it is to be the full-time coach. And the reason being is because there's no pressure on him, really. He just needs to come in and do a get-in, get-out job. And in Carrick's mind, before he starts, is that I'm going to try and steady the ship, and then I'm gone. They're going to get a better coach than me comes in, and then I can just go off on my way. And then I can come back to Old Trafford and watch with my family. And that's what's in his head initially. When you're the full-time coach and all the pressure's on you and the players are coming to your office and they're moaning about playing time, it's all right now. Zirks is jumping all over him and Casemiro's jumping all over him and subs
do you know,
onto the pitch. But that ain't happening next season.
Do you know, it's so funny you say that. I was going to bring that up. Casemiro jumping on top of him, like celebrating goals. And it's so funny. Casemiro's like gone up a level since he's announced that he's leaving. Carrick is in the job. Is he full-time? Is he not? He's delivering right now. That's two people jumping on top of each other that are not in it for the long run. They're just not, you know. Carrick might be, but what I'm saying is Casemiro's checking out and Carrick knows, look, I've got an out here. I could say at the end of the season, I don't fancy it, you know? And you're right. Having that in your mind sometimes gives you the less pressure to perform. But to finish, Dan, so you're saying if he finishes fifth, you'll only move on for a certain manager. But if he finishes second or third, there is no other manager.
No, I'm not even quite saying that, to be fair. I still think if you can offer me an elite manager that I agree with, then I could turn a blind eye to Carrick going through the back door. But I think that would obviously even be harder for me, where I'd be thinking. So for me, really quickly, fifth is like a bit of a grey area, purely because I know they'll be asking at least Bruno and some of the senior players, how's it gone? How have you felt about it? They're already giving their opinions. So that's already set a scene in Wilcox's mind already that if Carrick does well, you know, the players are on board with him. So that's going to be difficult. So I just think fifth, still got to ask the question, but I'd be happier with a elite coach coming in and him leaving. Third or second, that's a different story for me, where I'm thinking that's going to be a tug on the heartstrings thing, that one. I've got to be honest. But again, there's very little coaches out there for me that could come in. If you can name some to me that I think, go on.
I hear you.
I can only see Enrique and Tuchel for me at the minute. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, to finalise, because we're already over an hour and a half. For me, if he finishes fifth, shake his hand, move on. If Enrique's not possible, then go Tuchel. If Tuchel's not possible, I'd even, believe it or not, start lowering my standards and go into that next bracket. Now, off the top of my head, who's in that next bracket, you know? Is it quite the De Zerbi bracket? Is it quite the... I'm not sure it is.
Probably.
Flick, maybe, people like that. That's the next bracket. Is Southgate the next bracket? I don't know. And I know how you feel, Dan. That was to trigger you a little bit. But for me, it's fifth place, shake his hand and move on. And I'm fingers crossed that there's someone available that we can grab. That's where I'm at with that. If he finishes second or third, I'm going to say don't even look for anyone else. Have another great summer like you did last summer and crack on with him. Yeah, because if he finishes second or third, that means my prediction of the fact that the bounce is going to go, and this was all down to like a bit of a manager bounce and Amarim's fitness coinciding with him putting the cherry on top of it, changing the formation. That means I would have got that wrong, and he's actually kicked on with the team. And if he does that, I'll put my hands up and say, give the guy another year, give him 2 years if you have to. But anyway, listen, guys, it's been emotional in the emotion room. You're all predicting a win then against West Ham, yeah, tomorrow night.
That's it.
Yep, 3-1.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Come on, Dave.
I'm gonna say 2-2.
Desmond 2-2. Like it.
I'm gonna say 2-2. We're gonna end it on that note here in the emotion room. We'll read these last few comments out. Carrick is better than most on the next bracket, and I think if we can't get a Thomas Tuchel, Carlo, or Enrique, then we should stick with a legend who understands the club and who we are. He's got a great point, hasn't he? Yeah. Twisted said, just give him a year contract. If we keep him, then it's not a tie down. That's kind of what I said, right? Without saying it. I then went to 2 years because I didn't want to disrespect the fella, but that's kind of where I'm at with it as well. And Rob, thanks for being here from start to finish. It's much appreciated. Guys, it's been emotional in the emotion room. And I hope next time we're together, we're smiling again, and it'll be 5 wins in a row. Matey's got his hair cut and we move forward with all of our lives, Guys, thanks for coming. Please sub to Dan Talks United. Please sub to the Football Brotherhood. Hopefully we'll have Christian on next week, and maybe he's 3 points closer to the Arsenal. Yeah. Maybe we're 3 points closer. Maybe we're 3 points closer,
United.
Anyway, guys, catch you on the next one.
Thank you both. Cheers, guys.
See you soon,
See you later,
guys.
people.
Bye. See you soon.